Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to PCM22. It's Classics Puncher, and this is episode 31. We are now at the 4 days of Dunkirk race. It's the first stage. It's a 6-stage race with 5 sprint stages. Now, the team objective is to win the overall race. The punchy, classic, punchy cobbled stage, the one non-sprint stage, absolutely does suit myself as a rider, and therefore I certainly do have that opportunity. But in these other 5 stages, there are many chances for the top sprinter, Jasper Philipsen, who's an 80-80 in his sprint and acceleration, to pick up significant bonus seconds again and again and again. Now, so far today, there has been no breakaway whatsoever, and there are riders out the back. Meaning, it's been a high tempo, and because of that tempo, there hasn't even been a team that has tried to go into the break. But also, because there was no break, I was able to expend a small amount of energy at the beginning of this stage and go out and claim first sprint point of the day, which came with not only points, which could be useful in that points classification, but it came with 3 seconds. Now, as we approach number 2, 3K away, it's available once again. I'm guessing that we're going to have some contenders nearby. Yeah, there's Philipsen right there, number 1. So he's the favorite. We are almost side by side. But I'm going to use my man here to lead me out. Latour, just go ahead and sit on. I've just recently brought my team forward in order to prepare for the end of the stage, even though there's still 75k to go for now. At this point, it's easily close enough to get in on this thing. So we're going to get him going max. And from 1k out, just to be sure. And let's see if he can follow me. Will he contend? Others will not. That's the second time we go through. So not only do I have a points lead at this stage, I've already picked up 6 bonus seconds. And in terms of the sprint, even though Philipsen is so much better, so much more capable than I am, and should be the favorite stage after stage, there's a pretty significant drop-off after that. And that drop-off is enough, and maybe we'll get Latour to go ahead and get water now. It's slightly early, but not bad. There's enough of a chance here that I could get a string of podium finishes in these sprint stages, and if I could do that, maybe even win one of them, then I have a very strong chance of doing what we need to do on the one key stage of this race and claim that overall victory. But so far today is providing a huge boost. 5k from the next one, and we're going to go for it again here shortly. Now, the reason why I went for the water early was mostly down to what we're about to do with 4.5k to go here, which is setting this up for a third run. Might as well take the 9 seconds. That doesn't guarantee me a lead at the end of the day. If Philipsen goes on and wins the stage, then he's going to be leading the overall still, but I'd only be 1 second behind, unless we happen to also then get on the podium. Alright, here we go. Can I hold off the chaser this time, Lanai? We do. And that is max points yet again. So we do. We have 9 seconds already to the good here. And we have reached that point where it's going to take its toll on us. And there is that factor, but we'll recover. It's just that it's going to, you can see that max is going down just a little bit. Kalmajan as well. But with nothing else going till the end of the stage, I'll easily be in a strong enough state to contest the sprint finale and should not be affected by the efforts that I've put in to get those 9 seconds, or at least so to such a small degree that it shouldn't really impact me. So, by the way, while we're here making the run in, I've recently gone through a series of upgrades to my setup. So a number of new parts within my custom build itself, and likewise I have a new DSLR camera. I'm not using my lighting as of now, and it's a bit foggy outside, so the monitor lighting has typically been enough. I haven't needed. I know lighting's a little down at the moment, but let me know what the clarity at least is like on this one with the new face cam setup, and I have been able to go back to full ultra here on PCM. I was almost there anyway, but when it first came out this last year, I had just a tiny bit of lag, and I turned down literally just 2 settings from ultra to high, and that stopped that lag. But now with my new graphics card, 3080, GeForce RTX 3080, easily handling the game graphics and the encoding, and so I was able to turn those back up, so we are back on full ultra here, and I do see the difference in the game on how it's looking. But with 10k to go, under 10k to go already actually, we are going to set up our sprint train. Now with only 10k, I think it's a little late on maybe one of these, like say Latour. Just get to the back end and provide a barrier. We'll take one guy out of the mix, but we're going to go kind of straight into it, go hard, and let the other guys come up hard and fast and get in position, because normally I go a few kilometers earlier. In fact, he still hasn't gotten forward because he got blocked off there not once but twice now. Left-hand turn here, they'll go to the middle. We'll hang to the outside and, oh, come on, buddy. 6.5k now. Is his ratings really that bad? I'm gonna control him to get him to the left side, get out of this thing. 5k to go. Time for that gel. Okay, we are still not all the way forward as Lacroix is caught behind a little bit, but we are now pushing out front. That should be helping us. Here's an 81. Lebert is going to really push tempo here with 4k, which is what we want. 3.5k. How far down the line am I? Enough so that it's damn near time to sprint. Now, he's not much of a sprinter, so go ahead. Start that sprint and really push that pace. Yeah, see, he wasn't much of a sprinter. It does take a little bit, but it's pulling us forward, and that was kind of the point here on what we're trying to do. 1.7. Why we're going a little bit earlier. Lacroix, there's that great lead out, getting me inside the final kilometer. A little bit of a right-hand bend, but 900 meters, that's a little low from now to try to get to the finish. That is not Philipson, that is Russo. What is Russo like? 74, 72. And he went pretty dang early, so we should be able to hang with him. Is that... Wow, Latour's still on my wheel? Philipson, look how much of an advantage we've got over Philipson. We are going to run out of red bar before the finish line, though. I mean, that much is clear. Here we go, getting out front. Latour. We're lapping somebody. That is not for competition. And we're going to make it a 1-2 with Latour. No. Here comes Philipson. Philipson flying up at the end. But we do get the stage win. And Philipson takes just second as he comes from way behind. You can see how much faster he was, especially with our red bar expended. But we still had a decent top speed there towards the end. and I just saw where we were at with numbers, guys in front of me. There was two issues. One, I had too many guys in front of me. I was too far down the line. And two, my quicker guys, again, were too far down the line. And so I took advantage of the numbers game on that one. And that's how that tends to go. You burn through red bar a little bit faster because you start sprinting that much further out. But when you're far enough down the line, it doesn't expend as much of that red bar. And what it did for us was it got us 5 bike lengths ahead of Philipson. And his ultimate pace, he recovered, 3 to 4 of that. But not all of it. And that is that rare use strategy that can definitely work out for you. You get far enough ahead, they can't cover the distance. Stage 2, I have a 19-second advantage over the field with the 10-second time bonus at the finish line plus those 3 sprints that we claimed. Today there was a small break of 3 riders, so they claimed all of those points available today. But we are currently going up and over the one of 4 small hills on the day, but the final one as we approach the end. Breakaway's been caught fairly recently. We have not had to work very hard as other sprint teams have been eager to do something today. And as we go over the top here in Lebert, that takes a little bit of toll on the red bar, but the quick descent after easily sets that up for a bit of recovery. And we now have 8K to go, and we are already out in that front position where we want to be. So we could go kind of flat out from here and keep things going. Lebert with that +5 is looking really strong. That's putting the field under intense pressure, as Lohoitza also here on a +5 is going to probably do the same thing. We don't know what his ratings are. He didn't do much last time, even with a +2, +3. You can see there are some teams up here contending with us. We're not the only ones forward, but man, we're actually at 4K to go, 3.8K to go, so this is actually coming up really fast. We need to get a little further down the line. Kalmajan, maybe Kalmajan drop out of this thing, drop to the back here. Latour's better on the flat, and we're going to get Latour going now as the Lohoitza is also going to slip towards the back end. Set ourselves up, 3K to go. And we want to do that same thing as last time. It looks like Koenig's trying to come up now. So yes, let's get Latour going on his sprint. And it stops their guy from going on that attack. 2.3K. We're going to have kind of that same issue as last time as we're getting down to it. 1.5. Venturini. Okay, Venturini, at least give me what your pace is. It's a bit too early, but oh gosh, there goes. Philipson's going to win this one today. I'm not catching him. But if I can get second or third and get a few more bonus seconds. Philipson's fading. But he's not the only one. I'm going to get third. Renard takes the win. Philipson second. I get third. That's 4 more seconds. I do lose a little ground on those two, but it's still a little bit further over the field. That was good. Kind of rough go at there at the end. That little punchy hill always throws a wrench in the spokes of what it is you're planning, what it is you're trying to do. We had that red bar complication, but then I also, because we had that quick recovery down the hill, and that was at 10K, all of a sudden at 8K, our front guy was right back to fresh. And so we had all these guys coming along then at that point, and it was like, where in the order do you go? And, we've got guys peeling off left and right that hadn't even had a turn yet. But we weren't recovered down the line, and we weren't well out in front like we would hope to be with the team. So this time the train, not the perfect setup, but we still managed to get a podium and pick up 4 more seconds. And Renard gaining the 10 doesn't hurt. Philipson only picks up 2 seconds on us. He is now 9 seconds back, and that's That's a good gap at the moment. Plenty of stages still to go. Quick gains on this one, and we have leveled up. I think it's just a skill point this time. No, it's not. Oof. It's another big level up. And next up, Tour de France unlocks the final unlock in terms of races. I keep waiting for something that just doesn't happen, and that is a boost to my mountain rating. More than 1 point. And it just continually fails to reach fruition. What I've been hoping for is the ability to win all of the monuments. The Ronde van Vlaanderen being the elusive one in our current profile. But if we're going to start winning a Paris-Roubaix, if we're going to start winning proper classics, we've got to boost that cobble rating a bit more. Now the hills rating is decent, but even that one is starting to slow down because it's not that far from its maximum. The mountain rating is still nowhere near its maximum. There's still a close to 10-point gap on that. Yet, level up after level up after level up, everything that I've been looking for the last probably 6-7 level ups is where's the mountain points? And they're just not coming. They're not coming. I think we're going to have to write off the Ronde here at some point and try to focus on getting the others, because if we are going to be a classics rider or a punchy classics rider, if we're going to get some sort of combo, we've got to start being able to contend for some of those monuments. We need to come away with a monument victory for this series to be a success. And I'll tell you now, I'm not planning on this series going all the way to my 30s or something like that. There's not going to be a ton of time left on this one. Therefore, I think it's time to focus on getting what we can get. Now, the recent focus on sprint has been wonderful. As we've gotten faster, our win rate has gone up a lot. But I need some cobble points. Just we don't need to get to the 85 or anything like that, but we need to get it to an 81, 82 so that we can compete in a Paris-Roubaix. So we're going to take Northern Classics. We're going to focus a little more on that puncher one as well, and that sprinter. So I think we're going to start keying in on those three. If I see a +3 in mountain, which we should have at this stage with how far away from it that we are and how low it is, it just keeps not materializing. We could get 1 point this time if we took Climber. I'm confident that our punchy cobbled stage is going to go our way, and all we need to do is not really be behind Philipsen, and we can go on and win this thing. So I decided stage 3, let's quick sim push forward. 6 stages is too much to squeeze into one episode. And Philipsen goes and claims the stage. Lacroix at least gets 4th on the stage. I'm nowhere near the top of the standings. And with a 10-second time bonus, Philipsen has taken the jersey off my shoulders. I am now 2nd, at least on same time though. So we're still okay to do the same thing for the next stage. And then we'll play out stages 4 and 5. 5 and 6. But we now have a bit more work to do as the field at 23 seconds back. Not too worried about them. But, Philipsen, only a 72 cobble rating, 63 mountain, 71 hills. He's going to struggle on that stage. We don't know about Renard, but he looks like he can climb a little bit. It's a little bit punchy, a little bit on the cobble. He's pretty okay. Tessin will not be a factor. We have no idea about this young 21-year-old. But look at Watson. Very good cobble rating. That is his strength. And he does look to be punchy. So we got to watch out for Sam Watson when we go through that next stage. Let's see what happens. 2 stages from now. Let's see what happens on better showing with 4th place. Lacroix this time in 10th. But that means no bonus seconds as I miss out on a podium. And Philipsen has won again. So we now have a 12-second deficit as he picked up 2 additional seconds at one of the intermediate sprints, we've got a little gap to cover. We've got a little gap to cover as we head to our cobbled, punchy stage. All right, so we are picking up into the later stages of this race, and there's still quite a few climbs. It's a double climb, so you have back-to-back climbs. One is cobbled, one is just a short, punchy climb. Now, for now, that comes down to your overall mountain rating, and that's where I'm hurting. 0 on the race day condition, but with that 99% fitness, got kind of +1s across the board for the most part. One thing I've been doing, and so far has worked out really well, is I've got the whole team following me and then one guy protecting me, and I'm kind of running things for now. It's helped thus far, and the peloton's already down to 45 riders. 45 riders. So we're going to get on with this program here in a little bit as we're now inside 50k to go. I'm going to have Latour, who's at the back end of this, get water one last time here, and you see how close to the back we already are as this peloton just gets smaller and smaller. Now 38 left. We're going to be taking control and putting the foot down here fairly soon, and I'll slip to the back as the group kind of pushes on forward, but it's still 50k, and while Alpsen Phoenix is working hard for their leader Philipsen, who has that decent lead right now, 12 seconds. There we go, Philipsen, 72 cobble, 63 mountain, 71 hills. So the intensity of the climb is the way to get rid of him, because obviously on the flat he's good to go, and with 43k to go, I think it's about time we get things moving along. LeBert is done, so he's about to fade. So instead of just switching to our next guy, I think I'm going to put myself in the line and let him take control this time and bring the team forward. Now, Calmajon has not been doing that great, so we're going to switch him with Lacrosse. +5 is making him a little bit stronger, so I think that's a natural thing to do on that one. And going up tempo this time. We want to not only keep our position near the front here, going further back down the line is going to start conserving me as the tempo is rising. But again, the peloton is already just 36 riders. Breakaway is not an assured catch as of yet, as the front 6 anyway, as they've dropped a few guys. Actually, they did have 9. That group is getting smaller and smaller, but as they fall off one by one, those 6 still have a 3-minute 9-second advantage, and finally we are getting forward to start taking over the tempo making and put this field under more pressure, which again is good for us. I'll try to beat Philipsen, LeBert, go auto, go. Now it's not necessarily the climb, it's the cobbled climb where we want to be aggressive. This climb is not the place for myself to do well, but at the same time it hurts Philipsen even more than it hurts me. So we still don't want to let up as we do catch one of those breakaway riders now. And you're looking at 3 guys here. I think Louds has actually probably needs to swap and drop to third wheel, and let's get Venturini going. That +5 is making him pretty dang strong. Yeah, we're actually back up to 44 riders. So we took over and the pace was less, and I think that has more to do with the fact that Philipsen is probably starting to struggle a little bit. We've got 3 guys in good shape. These 2 are in better shape with their +5s than I am, but here we go. Now they come forward again after he's had a bit of recovery time, but then they're going to hit that cobbled sector, and this is where we want it to be hard, right? We want it to be tough through here. Venturini, he's going to go pretty deep. 75 hill, 73 cobble. So when we do hit this climb here in a moment, as we make this right-hander, this is going to take its toll on those behind him. Still 27k to go, so it's not like we want to fully blow up the field all at once. I don't want to go through 2 guys on one climb. We've already gone through Venturini there. Set him to auto. And the peloton's down to 27, 26, getting smaller all the time. Looks like Tessin, the 4th place overall, is right at the back of the group on the verge of getting dropped. So Calmajon, we want Calmajon to get us there or thereabouts to the next time that we hit the climb. So around long enough for that. And then Lahautza should push us through that next one. And that's the penultimate climb, actually. So we might even go a little sooner where Lahautza doesn't take over right at the start, but takes over a little sooner. So Calmajon, yeah, go ahead. Be aggressive. And he is done. And Lahautza, yeah, 87 sounds good to me. These guys have nothing left in the tank, so they can't just break toe behind us. Help us along with that. We've got to just let those guys go on and do their thing. 26 left. The front group is all split up. It's still 3 minutes to the single individual front rider, though. Let's check in on who that is and what their gap is in the overall standings. They are only a minute 6 behind. So we are actually going to have to do quite a bit of riding to catch up to this guy. We've totally blown up the front group since putting the pressure on, but that front rider has only lost 15 seconds. But he has no support the rest of the way, and he's got 2 more hard cobbled sectors to get through. Alright, putting that foot down a little harder has obviously brought us down a man. And already this one is doing kind of what we were expecting out of Calmajon there. It gets us just to the base of the climb. We are both lapping guys and catching up with breakaway guys. There's both in that sequence as I'm now down to my final 2 lead-out riders. And Lacroix normally wouldn't be great, but he's looking really good today with that +5. And Lahautza. Go backwards down to 24, and it's not only down to 24 now, 21, as we have picked up out of a breakaway of 6 and 1 that was dropped. So we've picked up 6 of those 7 riders, and they've added to what peloton there was, and it's down to 20 now. So this group is just getting thinner and thinner and thinner and thinner as we are now down into the last lap. Next time through there, it will be the end of this race. Now, I'm not looking quite as strong as Latour, but still looking pretty dang good for this overall. Let's get an idea, as we've already just pulled back a minute very quickly on that rider, but we've got to pull back at least a minute more to stop him from winning. There is Philipson, so Philipson is still here. Let's go ahead and use the... okay. Philipson must have some sort of +5. And Renard just hanging on to the back end of the group. Go ahead and use and observe on him as well. He is done. He's not going to make it to the end. And we'll also use one on Watson. Watson's almost done. Okay. But Philipson looks really strong still. In fact, he looks stronger than I do. But we'll keep this group under pressure. Eliminate guys one by one. Keeping an eye on my heart rate as it does climb as we make our way up the hill. That is not the overall leader. That's another lap rider. But we've just pulled back another half minute. Another 45 seconds. And just as we hit the top, a whole nother group is dropped down to just 13 in the peloton. And we make up 3 of those. So only 10 other contenders plus the individual breakaway rider who is just over a minute ahead. And let's see, is this him? No, that's still Fernandez. That's got to be him way up there. There's more than one group up there. Here comes Philipson to the front. 3.5K. Hello, hello. That came up fast. Okay, give me a lead out. We've got to have the ability to sprint and attack, but the over a minute that we needed to catch on the guy in front, he's down to 45 seconds. So we've done that. We've taken care of that. Lacroix going really deep here, putting this group under pressure. But as we hit the cobbled sector, I've got plenty of red bar. So Lacroix going to go deep here, down to 12. Here comes Philipson trying to put pressure on. It's already 1K. So Latour, give me that sprint. Give me that lead out. Sprint. Can you sprint? Is this a sprint? Is that what you call a sprint, Latour? He's just not very good in the cobble. But 400 meters to go, and now I will sprint. But the finish line, we're going to get that 10-second time bonus. However, I'm not winning, am I? Poole is. I'm going to take second. Philipson gets third. Gains 6 seconds. He gains 4. I only gained 2 seconds on him, so that is not going to be enough to claim that overall race victory. There's still one stage to go, but I'm going to be back to 10 seconds behind. So it looks like we will be taking second in the overall. This is not the version of this one where you continue to the top of the hill and take a right and then go on to the finish line. This one ends right there before you're even done and out of the cobbled sector, which means that last cobbled sector was much shorter than they typically are, meaning we don't get as much benefit, we don't get as much boost. Latour gets 4th on the stage, I get 2nd. Poole sneaks on by. Unlucky there, but no win on this one. We've had one win here, but it looks like the overall is probably going to slip away, and it looks like we'll be taking second place. Philipson, well deserving. He had wonderful condition today, so he should have been dropped. He should have been dropped, but he was not. Final stage, 8 kilometers to go, and just ahead of us is the breakaway. Originally of 11, 10 remain, but now nearly caught finally, and our chances of doing anything today are slim to none as we have that 10-second deficit, and that large breakaway took any chance of claiming victory on a intermediate sprint to pick up any seconds there. So we're just gonna have to take it as it is and settle in behind. So 5k to go as we push on through. LeBert now taking over. We are in the position we need to be in with 4.5k, and I'm down to my 3 lead out guys, so more of a traditional run in towards the finish line this time. 3.5k to go as LeBert pushing on +4s. Good race day condition for all the teammates yet again as 2.7 is that? No, let him get around the corner, There you go, get that last little push now, 2.3. So we'll take that lead out. We're in perfect position right now, full strength. But I have a -1 race day condition, so I'm just not thinking it's going to be our day today. But we've got a good strong lead out. In fact, as we go to 1.4, we're going to push on to LaCroix as we come around that final corner. It gives me that strong lead out as we head towards the line. 600 meters, wait that a little bit more as I'm going really deep. LaCroix is so strong today. And just 22 riders left at the front. I'm going to come off front. I am going to take the stage. Am I? Philipson coming up hard. Oh, we held him off. But Philipson takes second. LaCroix gets third. So Philipson gains 6 seconds again. And that was the thing. Beating Philipson was easier said than done. We claimed 2 stage victories. We needed 10 seconds. We gain 10 seconds. But Philipson also gains 6. So we only cut 4 seconds into that gap. Now, had I not quick simmed 2 stages, you figure we could have gotten a podium or 2. We might have gotten an intermediate sprint or 2 somewhere along the line. Controlling every single stage, we might squeeze out the overall victory. But to squeeze in the race into one episode, you had to make some choices, some sacrifices. We'll have to settle for 2 stage wins and a second overall. That's going to do it for this episode, though. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.